I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. My last video made no sense. I couldn't keep a straight train of thought because I had caffeine today. I always spaz out in the beginning of my videos. I don't know why I do that. I'm talking fast. I drank some Dr. Pepper, and that contains caffeine. And caffeine affects me extremely. Some people it doesn't affect them at all. Some people it makes them mellow and they're weird like that. I don't know. Caffeine makes me bounce off the walls. Now, I love things with caffeine. I love Mountain Dew. I love Coca-Cola. I love Dr. Pepper. I love coffee. But I only drink it every once in a while. Sorry, my nose is running. My nose itches. Because it really affects me. I mean, it makes me go hyper. Caffeine. I love coffee, but when I drink it in the morning, I end up like, when the caffeine like gets into my system first hour, I won't stop talking, and it really annoys people, and I talk really fast like this and stuff. I'm a teenager and I'm in high school. So, some of my friends drink energy drinks. Kids will drink energy drinks. And there's some kids that drink them every day. Some kids will say, yeah, the other day I drank Red Bull, but I've never tried an energy drink. And, I've wanted to, I thought, why not try an energy drink? Thing is, I don't think it would be safe for me. I have a very fast metabolism, a quick heartbeat. Well, actually, my heartbeat's kind of slow at a resting pace, but like when I go hyper, my heartbeat speeds up really quickly. I have a fast metabolism, and I'm always kind of hyper, so it's, I'm skinny because of my fast metabolism, so it's kind of good. But anyway, I'm hyper, and caffeine makes me really hyper. I think I would probably start literally running up, back and forth, bouncing off the walls if I drank a Monster, if I drank a Red Bull. So, first of all, those things are horrible for you. I'm sorry, but they are. And not that other soda isn't horrible for you, but they are really bad because they've got other stuff in them that are even worse than caffeine and sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which are, stuff you probably shouldn't be drinking anyway. High fructose corn syrup. Your body doesn't process fructose in the same way it processes normal sugars. And the way it processes it is not as healthy a way of processing it as it processes a normal sugar or fiber. It processes normal carbohydrates in a different way than it processes fructose. And it's not as healthy a way of metabolizing the energy. So anyway, I don't know if I got that right or not. I sort of know this, but I'm not a doctor. I don't study things. Actually, no offense to doctors, but sometimes doctors make me irritated. Sometimes I feel like they treat you like you're stupid. And I know more about the human body and different, bones and muscles and different systems and the way chemically things work than even some kids, at my school who, want to be a doctor or a nurse when they grow up. Just because I remember stuff. We learned all that stuff in 8th grade. We learned all the bones in the human body. I just remembered it. I'm just a geek, I remember things. I remember what I learned. And I'm not one of those kids who love school. It's like, I guess I like to learn, but I don't like to learn in the same way. I'm lazy. I am the lazy smart kid who, gets put in the high classes because they do well. But then they're so lazy they don't do their homework, and people are like, why are you in this class if you're getting a bad grade? Oh, because I don't do anything. Well, then why don't you go in another class? Because I do just as bad in the regular classes as I would here, except the thing here is it's weighted, so I actually do better. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm lazy. And it's bad about me. I know. Part of it is my ADHD and my OCD. And I know that's not an excuse, but sometimes I cannot make myself do my homework. Yesterday I had to write an English essay. It ended up making no sense, but at least I got it written. But I'm sitting there trying to work, and I have other things running through my head. I keep, surfing online instead of working. I have a Word document open, but I have nothing written but a title. Or I keep glancing over at the guitar in the corner thinking, crap, but now I have a new song in my head. I need to play guitar. I can never keep my mind straight, Everyone's mind works different. I was just thinking about this and how I want to vlog about this today. I was 6th hour, no, it was 5th hour. I was sitting in chemistry class and we had work time. And these two guys next to me are insulting each other. They're friends, but they're like insulting each other. Stop being a retard. Stop being gay. Stop being a slut. Okay, they're yelling at each other and being really stupid. Insults. Don't call people an insult that insults another person. Don't use retard as an insult. Don't use gay as a insult. Because, those things shouldn't be insults. And half the people call retarded are not retarded. There are very few people who are actually actually mentally retarded. Don't use it as an insult because it's the way someone is. And don't use gay as an insult, because there's nothing wrong with someone who's actually gay. Don't use that as an insult, calling your friends gay because they're being stupid. Don't use an insult that degrades someone, or people make racist jokes. And although half the time they're fooling around with their friends who are actually that race, why do you even look at people like they're, even notice race, we're all human beings. We're all Homo sapiens. We may have different views. We have different religions. We have different philosophies. We may even have different sexual orientations. Or our minds work different. Everyone has some mental thing. I'm OCD and ADHD. I'm sorry. That's the way I am. It is what it is. Some people are even autistic. My brother has Asperger's syndrome, which is very mild autism. Everybody has something wrong with them. No one is normal. But, don't point out their faults. They know their own faults already. And some of their faults you're picking on, those aren't faults to them. And they're not actually faults, this is getting back to don't use insults. Don't try to insult someone with something that shouldn't be an insult. Don't call someone retarded, because that person probably isn't retarded if you're calling that. Would you actually go to someone who is mentally retarded and say, you're retarded? Would you call them that? No. And actually, there aren't many people who are actually mentally retarded. Some of the people view as retarded are people who are autistic. They are not retarded. Okay? They are autistic. Get it right. Or, people, this is what bugs me. Is they use that, or you hear people say, that's gay, stop being a homo. Well, you know what, that person isn't gay, so why are you calling them that? And why are you using it as an insult to degrade them? I mean, quit being someone, I hate it when people degrade people with something that isn't even an insult. I can see how calling someone retarded is an insult, but that person's not retarded. And there's very few people who are retarded, And quit using gay as an insult, because, there are people who are gay. And honestly, I see nothing wrong with it, You are who you are, you love who you want to love. You be with who you want to be with. You're born that way, be who you are. So quit using things like that as an insult. Don't use retard as an insult. Don't use gay as an insult. Another thing I don't use? Dumb. Now, most people don't know this, but dumb came from people who were mute, and people would call them dumb because they wouldn't respond to them, and people call them dumb. If you're calling someone dumb, you're calling them mute. Are they mute? No. And then you're degrading someone who is mute, saying there's something wrong with them. Don't use an insult. Especially if you don't know where it came from. Like, there's the thing, you're hearing people. Don't use a word if you don't know where it came from. Especially if you're using it negatively. Like, in 4th grade, I remember there would be kids who they'd be like irritated and they'd be like, fuck! And I'm like, dude, do you even know what that means? And honestly, I didn't fully know what it means until my parents explained it to me, when I was like in 6th grade or something, because, but I mean, people would just use words, or, they would just yell out, fuck, whenever they made a mistake. Well, I don't think that kid even knew what it meant. I mean, they might have known partly what it meant, but not fully what it meant, because, I mean, hello, you're a 4th grader. I mean, unless your parents sat you down when you were 4th grade, said, you know what? I know you got human growth and development in school, but you know what? I'm going to tell you everything now, and I'm going to give you all the vocabulary you need to know. What's the difference between this and this? I don't think your parents did that. I don't think you knew I don't think you knew what the F word meant in 4th grade. Maybe you did. I feel sorry for you if you did, because you were very unsheltered if you did. And I understand I was maybe a little sheltered. My parents don't swear. And my parents don't talk about things like that a lot. They'll talk to me about some things, but I guess I kind of was a little sheltered. The thing is, my parents aren't the people who shelter me because they see things as wrong. I guess my parents are kind of conservative, but they're accepting. They accept different ways of life. They accept things. They're not homophobic. My uncle's gay. My mom doesn't love him any less, and she accepts it. And, what am I talking about? Okay, so anyway, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. But don't use words if you don't know what they mean. I mean, I don't think people knew the true meaning of where dumb came from. Don't use it as an insult, or else you're offending people who are mute, Don't use it as an insult. And you know what? Don't use gay as an insult, because it shouldn't be an insult. And what, really ticks me off is when someone calls someone a faggot. Because you know what? They aren't gay. So why are you calling them gay? And then again, you're using a word which can often have a negative connotation. It depends on who's using the word. If someone's gay and they're calling someone else gay, a fag, I don't want to get into it because, I don't know all about that and how negative it is, but, don't use it if they're not. Don't call someone a retard if they're not retarded. And if they are seriously mentally retarded, I doubt you would be calling them a retard. So basically, keep your insults nice. There was one of my kids at my lunch table was insulting me, because I was ticking them off, and they're like, you're being a bitch, Vicky. I'm like, okay, I'm being a bitch. Call me what you want. Then they're like, Vicky, stop acting Vicky, you're being stupid. Okay, it's your opinion. Vicky, you're really ticking me off right now. Stop being a asshole. Okay, you think I'm being an asshole. That's your opinion on me. But you know what? Then if you go and you say, Vicky, stop being a retard, that crosses the line, because you're not just insulting me. You're saying I'm something which I'm not, and you're insulting someone else. You can have your opinion on me, but you can't label me as something that I'm not. You can't call me a retard if I'm not really retarded. But you can think I'm an asshole. You can think I'm a jerk or I'm mean. Those are opinions. But saying I am something, which I'm not, that's not really an insult. That's just wrong. And my video, I almost burped, is gonna be almost over. So, excuse me, I burped, but that was a pathetic burp. Anyway, be careful with how you insult people. And you know what? Don't insult people at all. Be a good person. And I know I sound like a hypocrite to a couple of my friends because I joke around with them all the time. You know what? Don't insult people. Okay? Be a good person. Someone insults you, just say whatever, that's your opinion. I don't agree with it. Leave me alone. You don't go, back at them. Oh, well, you're a bat, bat, beep, 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 beep. No, just go, whatever. You said it. I'm not going to let it bother me. My video's getting too long, so I am going to say goodbye. That was stupid. Bye! No.